Welcome everybody back to the Fantasy Stand, and we are here on a Wednesday getting in another draft for today. Actually going to be switching up the format on Underdog Fantasy. They do have a couple drafts popped up. I think a regular best ball draft and also a Superflex that we are hoping or planning on getting in later on this week. But got me thinking, of course, I like to get into some of the Superflex drafts as well. So I am actually going to come in, add that super flex, keep the regular flex, because really the format is going to stay the same. And the three wide receivers, two running backs, one tight end, one flex, super flex, super flex, to where you can include the two QBs. In this draft, we tend to want to try to leave with at least three quarterbacks in this one. But yeah, definitely wanted me to come in here and try this format, change it up just a little bit in case some of you are doing the the superflex format as well. So we're gonna come in here, 12 team randomizes three times. There's one, there's two, and there is three. All right, so we are actually hoping to do this and run this back three different times. One where we get our quarterback champion in the first round because he is important. I mean, as you can see here, in the quarterback rankings in this run of the draft where literally everyone went, you're going to want to get your champion pretty early on. In this format, we are actually going to be getting our champion in the first round and then maybe waiting on that second pick, maybe seeing who's there just to make sure we lock up our guys, then start going those other positions. But in the other draft, we'll, of course, choose our probably wide receiver champion first or running back, whoever value is there, and then go quarterback that second pick and then fill that out. For here, though, I am going to look if there's a quarterback that's going to be my champion that I'm going to give a shot at. Kyler Murray right now does provide that rushing upside. Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, then the wide receivers go after that. So it is back to me. As you can see, there aren't necessarily any quarterbacks that are that very enticing. A lot of them will probably go here early because then you have this other third tier where if you're hoping, like I said, try to leave your draft with three quarterbacks, preferably all with different buys. You can't necessarily control that when the value is there. But in this draft, I'm actually going to play this. I'll go ahead and, oh man, this is tough because there's just like so many good guys still available. But I'm going to go and play this from a quarterback perspective and get my two champions right off the bat because there's one more quarterback that I really like that does provide that upside, and that is Jaden Daniels. You'll see in this other draft when we go someone else in that first round, Jaden Daniels will essentially be my pick for that too, say if Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, some of that other tier is already gone. But it is back to us. There is one team, of course, that had waited till the third round to get a quarterback, and their quarterback one is Tua Tagovailoa for this year. Kind of looking, I mean, there's some exciting rookies, running backs still available. Here, I'm actually kind of happy that at least Devontae Adams is still there. I will still take a shot on him. I think Gardner in that offense, Minshew will chuck it, will throw it. And lo and behold, I'm kind of looking here, and there's still some wide receivers we like. Brandon Ayuk would very much be interested to see where he lands. But, of course, here there's dogs like Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, who's just trending upwards, Nico Collins right there as well. And it's kind of tough because there's still running backs. There's still two running backs that we really like here. And to me, that's Isaiah Pacheco and Derrick Henry. Would honestly be fine with Devin Achane. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take more than likely our second wide receiver here just to fill out that role and hopefully wait until Keon Coleman later on for that 3. But right here, as I'm looking at these wide receivers available, I'm kind of torn between Mike Evans and Cooper Cup. Chris Godwin fully back to health. Of course, we'll get those PPR targets. Mike Evans is going to get the touchdowns. Nico Collins could be great as well. There is just three mouths to feed, not including Dalton Schultz there, and Cooper Cup, where in that Rams offense, Puka Nakua does have the injury. Cooper Cup is all the way back. I mean, It's very tough to say because I feel those three all could be pretty great. We're gonna go veteran heavy, obviously. Well, I guess we have Jay Daniels. We're good. But even this mock draft, it still is tough. Obviously, when faced with this situation, Baker Mayfield's there because, like I said, we do like Isaiah Pacheco. There's a good chance that one of these three will fall to us, and hmm, that's very tough to say. Because as I'm looking at the draft board, I mean, easily from those three that we really like, he'll go ahead and get taken. Instead of fighting for one of those receivers, only because I do like, oh man, just blanked on his name, uh, George Pickens. I would love him as a wide receiver too, especially if we're targeting Keon Coleman number three. So with just a lot of receivers here, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll take the running back that I love that I think is gonna be special this year, safe, consistent this year. That's Pacheco. A Chain has Mostert behind him. Derrick Henry. Ooh, I like that build. Look at that. They waited. They waited on their wide receivers to get Bijan and Derrick Henry. Okay, I like it. We'll see the value here. Still a couple quarterbacks that are actually pretty decent. Pocket passers and Matt Stafford, Baker Mayfield. Coming in though, looking at the running backs and wide receivers that are still available. There's Rashad White, who is more than likely going to go very soon. There's a young, exciting Malik Neighbors, who, of course, there's a lot of rookie wide receivers we like. Malik Neighbors, higher draft capital, but is tied to Daniel Jones. There's excitements like Trey McBride looking here. But as I'm kind of looking through here in this tier, Mark Andrews is interesting as well. But I'd rather go ahead get the wide receiver I like. Like I said, this is over Malik Neighbors. I'm going with George Pickens. I just think he's an alpha. They'll always tell me it's going to be a reach. That's okay. Because I get the guy I want there. And in the tight end world, look at that. Mark Andrews still available. Running back, I mean, it can take a chance on these guys. I'm kind of waiting on that, though. So, wide receivers, since I already got the guy I want, there's no one else really here that I love. Terry McLaurin could be an interesting pick, be our wide receiver three, and essentially have that Jaden Daniels stack with him. That's very interesting, very enticing. Mark Andrews has a shot at being, it will be top three, top five at that position. And running back wise, we're actually hoping Zamir White at least falls to us. So I'm going to go Mark Andrews here. I have two wide receivers filled out, one running back. Zamir White goes early in that seventh round. And that's the price I pay for that, especially knowing that there are some decent tight ends that will be good throughout the year. Dalton Kincaid, Evan Ingram, Kyle Pitts may have the rebound, and I think Jake Ferguson is going to be the safe last pick. So at that point, you may want to go ahead and take your guys. Tank Dell is there. I, of course, have him higher than Keon Coleman. Kind of looking here. I don't think. Where's Keon? So Tank Dell here would actually, I'll take him as my 3. Man, because I'm looking here in the running backs. The only one that I would take, I mean, even though there's James Conner, there is David Montgomery. There's Raheem Mostert, who I have over. Well, not over Devon A-Chain, but I think he'll get more touchdowns than A-Chain. There's safe Brian Robinson, who's going to be down there. Of course, there's there's a couple of wide running backs we're targeting later on. So it really just will be who would I shore up as my wide receiver 2 here. And essentially in doing that, I do pass over Tank Dell, who would be a great wide receiver 3. The only problem is I know at least in normal drafts, round 8 is when I would have to go Keon Coleman. I can maybe see if he drops to round 9 with this just being that super flex and even kind of looking, here in the wide receiver, Lad McConkey could still be there. I mean, he's pretty much... Wait, am I dumb? Yo, I'm blind because Oh, he's right there. How was I missing him? Okay, so yeah. Keon Coleman, we got less than 1%, which means we can actually go after someone else. But there's a good chance that next round is where we're actually going to need to take our running back. Let me test this. This is PPR, so I will go heavy wide receiver here. See which running backs are available. And look at that. David Montgomery is still there. Raheem Mostert is still there. Brian Robinson is still there. All quality guys to have. Thing is, do you want the touchdown upside of David Montgomery? This is Outlook. I mean, he, of course, is higher. Well, I finished that shit as a running back 4. Just doing some quick reading. I mean, look at that as an RB2. Consistent contributor with RB1, RB2 upside. And see, I'd rather give a shot at him as my RB2. Especially here knowing that... Ooh, see who falls. Okay, there goes Lad McConkey. Wide receiver's still here. Keon Coleman's still available. He does have a less than 1% chance. Right now, it does say like a lot of the running backs are going to go. My thing is here is I feel if we test this out, we may miss out on Trey Benson, but I'm actually going to go with Brian Robinson right here since we do have already our wide receiver stat. I feel, okay, hey, Trey Benson 70% though. Wide receiver wise, this is where we're going to have to take Keon Coleman, which I'll gladly take as my RB1, and then as my bench wide receiver 1. And then what we're going to do is see what running backs may possibly fall. We miss out on two really good ones. But kind of looking here, I don't think Keon would have fallen to us. There's still Gus Edwards, which is awesome. I mean, I'll take that value. Tight end wise, that's great to know that there's still Jake Ferguson, Njoku, Brock Bowers still later on. There's still a couple of quarterbacks who are going to be good. Will Levis, I believe, will be a great wide receiver 3. I'm going to go ahead and choose Gus Edwards, though, to just get that running back backfield depth. There goes Will Levis. Wow. Derek Carr still enticing. I mean, kind of looking down here. I mean, at least he'll produce. I mean, if you like Olave, you got to like him. Geno Smith with the hip knee. You know, it's kind of here with Daniel Jones, Derek Carr. Was really hoping for Will Levis. Would have definitely given him a shot and a chance. Bryce Young, will he... Man. Sucks we won't see at least a little bit of action. Tight end wise, look at that. Jake Ferguson, David Njoku's still there. Looking at this team, we already have 2 quarterbacks. I mean, for sure. This is where we already have 3 running backs. We have 4 wide receivers. I mean, it would just be smart to start getting that backup quarterback depth. And you know Derek Carr is going to be the starter. As we come back, I mean, heck, you see there's another quarterback. We could easily, take one short up, especially going to look at my team real quick. Kyler Murray by 11, Derek Carr by 12, Jane Daniels by 14. So that's actually perfect. Didn't necessarily plan for it that way, but if I'm going into my redraft leagues, that's what I would love, just to always be able to intertwine or interchange your quarterbacks there. Could take one more just to have that depth, just in case anyone does get hurt. Kind of looking here, there's Geno Smith, who has the injury tag with the hip knee. There's Bryce Young, who you can hope bounce back. Russell Wilson, who's kind of injured, where easily he could lose favor and just lose out that job. That's a great chance. Bo Nix right now listed quarterback 3 on the depth chart. Drake May behind Jacoby Brissett. Sam Darnold is the quarterback. Gardner Minshew right now is technically the starter, but battling Aiden O'Connor. So very interesting to where if we don't really find any other value in any backup position, in the Superflex format, I'll go ahead and take another quarterback. And Bryce Young would kind of be my pick right here, just to see if he'll bounce back from last year in this new offense. Looking at the running backs, no one I'd really jump out and take. Wide receiver wise, I mean, Jahan Dotson, if I believe he'll bounce back. We have Jaden Daniels. You can go ahead and take that stack. Looking down at other wide receivers we like, Xavier Legette dealing with a foot injury, I believe. Jalen Polk already looks like he went, which would have been a great pick as well. It's telling me to get Antonio or Jahan. I'm actually going to look at tight end situation. I mean, there's the young rookie in Brock Bowers. That actually wouldn't be a bad pick. There's still be Pat Freiermuth and Dalton Schultz as a good backup. Wow. So this is actually pretty tough. I think I'll go ahead and just, short my quarterback. I mean, we did go quarterback heavy up front. So we're just going to make sure that our quarterback position is short up here. Obviously, slight reach. We miss out on some guys, but definitely we'll let everyone else choose there. Antonio Gibson's still there, running back 2. Wide receiver wise, we have Adam Thielen, who produced some games last year. Adonai Mitchell, who could rise up in value with me, only because Josh Downs did get a high ankle sprain, I believe is what they diagnosed him with. So Adonai Mitchell, very interesting there to choose. I'm actually going to go ahead and get Xavier Legette because I like him in that offense. We just got Bryce Young, so obviously that could be great little stack maybe later on in the season should they be gelling. And here, wide receiver-wise, or for our last pick, honestly, Adonai Mitchell still there, who, like I said, is trending up right now. Interesting that Dalton Schultz, Rashad Bateman, who could bounce back. Looking at my team, though, I'd go into the league with this team with quarterbacks Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels. We did get Derek Carr and then decided to back up with Bryce Young just because no one else was really there. We have 4 running backs on the roster. I can maybe see if there's one more who could be worth anything. Deontay Foreman was my pick, but I hope he's still recovering well. A.J. Dillon, interesting. see what other good backups actually have a chance. Deneric Prince. So here's the thing: Deneric Prince is interesting in to me, and only because word is he is the RB2 there, or will continue to serve as the RB2 there. And on our team, we do have Isaiah Pacheco. So in a redraft league, that is only protecting us, shoring up our pick. Because looking at anyone else, there's no one else here. Tyrone Tracy would have been like the pick, but looks like someone already snagged him. Wide receiver wise, Malachi Corley was there. Could go ahead and just get another wide receiver, obviously just to kind of shore up just that position. I mean, right here, like I said, Adonai Mitchell trending upwards. Just looking how I want to finish out this team. I know I'm obviously taking way too long for this pick. But yeah, we'll go ahead, just choose Adonai Mitchell with the news. Obviously, it won't help us later on in the updates because rankings will more likely not be updated with Josh Downs being hurt. But very interesting that later on, still Dalton Schultz still available in this draft. But defensive wise, coming here, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. I mean, Pittsburgh always has a stout defense. Let's get our kicker. Come on, kicker. And we'll go McPherson. And another C, guys. Fantasy experts, 79, 77 plus. And we're just going in here looking at our squad. Obviously, everyone hates Devontae Adams. I'm a believer in George Pickens. Tank Dell, interested to see him bounce back. I bet on him last year. He was very well. Ended up trading him just as he started taking off, and then of course the injury happened. Mark Andrews, Brian Robinson, who's going to be in there in the flex. Kyler Murray and Jay Daniels as my two quarterbacks. I'd be comfortable with that. Keon Coleman will be Josh Allen's wide receiver 1. Gus Edwards right now the RB1 in LA. Derek Carr, Bryce Young, just to shore up that the backup picks, which obviously I guess if I would have got one more possible running back position, maybe they would have been higher on the rankings. But not mad at that draft. We're actually going to come in here, mock again. That was us going 2 quarterbacks to start the draft. Obviously, still got some of the guys I like. I love Isaiah Pacheco for this year. We'll go back to the draft settings. Still in that 9th pick. PPR. Superflex. Start this draft. What I'm going to do here now is I'm essentially going to draft my position champion. And lo and behold, there's CeeDee Lamb. There's Tyreek Hill. There's Amon-Ra St. Brown. All 3 still available, which is exciting. Normally, CeeDee Lamb would be the smash pick. Obviously, he is not reporting to camp, though, which, of course, is scary. I mean, obviously, he wants his money. He wants what he's earned. There's Tyreek Hill, who's also aging. And I'm actually going to take my wide receiver champion. And I said I've done it before, but go ahead, went Amon-Ra St. Brown. Had we gone CeeDee Lamb, guess what, guys? Could have paired him up easily with Dak Prescott. And this is very interesting to me because I got the wide receiver I want. And like I said, we were going to do something where I was going to take my quarterback champion in the first and then take my quarterback champion in the second. Oh, it's so tempting to kind of wait, and I would just love to see how this may look, but only because there are other stars there like Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson. I would love to be able to have a team of Amon-Ra St. Brown or just my CeeDee Lamb, of Tyreek Hill, anyone, and Bijan Robinson or Breece Hall. So as we are going to do that strategy, I feel like here it's just too hard. It's too hard to pass up. So in this one, I'm gonna do my position first, and then the next one I'll do my position with the quarterback there, just to see how that ends. Just because these players that landed, I just cannot pass on, and obviously quarterback run galore. We are essentially left with the last tier of quarterbacks available, and that's Jared Goff, who I believe will be solid. I would love him as a QB2. I'd be okay with him as a QB2. He will be our QB1 here because there's there's no one else we would really want to bank on. He's got the safest schedule. He plays indoors. There's still other guys here we can maybe take a chance on. Trevor Lawrence, will he essentially have a better season than he did last year? That's the question. Tight end wise, you still have Sam Laporta, Travis Kelsey. So, yeah, this is me sort of going just way off the path. I don't think I'm going to like how this ends up. I for sure am not going to like how this ends up because had we just bypassed Bijan Robinson and gone Dak Prescott, there's a good chance that Jared Goff would have been there, and then he would have been our QB2, and then we just paired him up with our champion of Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's a lesson to me. And when you switch formats, you just don't know. You just don't know. All right, running back wise, a lot of guys enticing. Wide receiver wise, a lot of guys who are still enticing. Jalen Waddle, though, not really my bag. These three right here are the ones that I would take a chance on. DJ Moore, of course, he got paid. But man, it's always a question mark when you have a rookie throwing it to you. Isaiah Pacheco is there. Quarterback, though, this is where we did go and get, our wide receiver and running back. Because right now, Jared Goff is our quarterback champion, and that just scares me. But we'll try something. We'll try something different. See here who's gonna go. I'll get some of the different players as well. So obviously we were targeting Cooper Kupp. Mike Evans would probably be a pick here. Travis Kelsey wasn't high in consideration. Running back wise, Isaiah Pacheco was there, hoping he would have fell. And that's good to know, at least doing this route of picking that Pacheco. Because even here in the wide receiver too, still to have players like DK Metcalf, Malik Neighbors, to just choose from. I'd love George Pickens too. I would love him as a wide receiver too. So that's great to know in the strategy, in the notes, as we piece together this team. Right here, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, quarterback wise. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence goes, Matt Stafford goes. So we're dealing with Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, and Will Levis, Derek Carr, injured Geno Smith. Honestly, what my plan here, I can maybe go ahead, just get my tight end. Actually, here I feel like in the real position or in the real world, you would maybe have to punt that position, but I feel like you need guys with top 5 upside, and that's what they are. My receivers, running backs is still like Trey McBride can probably still be there. Man, this is tough, a real route to go. And if you already had a better quarterback or already had your two, This necessarily wouldn't be that hard. I mean, I guess there really isn't anyone there I like. Well, gonna build this team how I build this team. Get Mark Andrews because I don't want to deal with that later. Still coming back. Still quality is still Malik Neighbors. George Pickens still there. Amazing. Quarterback wise, Watson, Baker probably gonna go. Gonna come in though. I'm gonna get George Pickens. I'm punting this quarterback position. Essentially, is the route we decided to go with this second draft. Coming in, looking at quarterback wise, Baker Mayfield's still there. He'll more than likely be my pick. We went out and got Mike Evans, so Baker Mayfield there for that stack as well. I love stacking players. It just makes the game more exciting. Essentially get the double points. And now we have our second quarterback, but a chance to fill out and at least get a third and fourth. Will Levis did go. Would love to be able to take a shot on him if he does fall. Running back wise, there's Ramondre Stevenson, who just got the contract. James Conner, who will break down eventually. Zamir White, who is my smash pick. I would love to have Zamir White on my team as I'm looking in this build out right now, and he is my RB2. I'll gladly take that. For a lot of you who have been following, I would take Zamir White as my RB1 and feel comfortable going into this season. But make sure, after him, the next two rounds you essentially smash that running back position, because in round 8 you have to take Keon Coleman. So remember, guys, Zamir White round 5 in your regular drafts, Keon Coleman round 8. If you're going that heavy wide receiver build or you're investing in those other 1Z positions early on, it's just something I recommend possibly looking into. And look at here, some running backs: Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, whoever you think is going to be the running back one there. Upside and Chase Brown. Still have Jerome Ford, Trey Benson possibly. I'm going to look at the wide receivers here. Possibly that may go. Ladd McConkey possibly is exciting. Could be an exciting rookie. Man, just someone to provide value. Well, here I'm going to go ahead and get the wide receiver that I want or that I liked. You still have some other good ones like Xavier Worthy, another exciting rookie. Tyler Lockett, did his role really change? Looking here in the running backs, though, still some good ones available. Chase Brown, Zach Moss. I believe Chase Brown will probably take that role. Zeke Elliott will get some touchdowns. Gus Edwards, RB1. Jerome Ford, RB1. With Trey Benson, obviously down there, getting taken as well. Trey Benson is really the main running back that I like here. Would love him as my as an RB4. But if I have to kind of spin it up, take him as RB3 because I waited, I'll take that because he just has some great upside later on. Looking here in the running back position, though, Zach Charbonnet, good backup. Chuba Hubbard will provide value early on in the season with Jonathan Brooks starting off on the pup. And then some other running backs here that a lot of people believe will take over. Jaleel McLaughlin had a great year last year. Ty Chandler could possibly beat out Aaron Jones there. And Rico Dowdle battling Zeke for the RB1. Marshawn Lloyd, kind of exciting as well. I could think because Josh Jacobs may be dealing with like a quad injury or something. Wide receiver-wise, looking here, Curtis Samuel still available. Joshua Palmer, who everyone loves, Ladd McConkey, but Palmer could technically be the other starting wide receiver there. Tight end-wise, still great ones in Kyle Pitts, Jake Ferguson. Quarterback-wise, though, looking here, there's Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young. No one really. Let me see wide receiver-wise. I feel like we will have to start kind of spinning on this position. Could definitely take a chance with Josh Palmer. We'll see if those other ones are there. I'm actually going to show some positions. Some of these other positions. I'll take that steal with Kyle Pitts. Oh, we lose out on Jalen Polk. Wow, he snuck up. He's sneaking up in the drafts. He was slated to go later. Quarterback wise, still Geno Smith, Bryce Young. Could honestly, with this team already having at least a running back backup, a tight end backup, wide receiver, but we have 4 wide receivers there. Jalen Polk is, of course, the exciting rookie that I would have loved to pick here. Joshua Palmer's still there. He does provide a lot of value, I believe. And I think that's probably the route we'll go just to give that starting upside. Dowdle goes, and Njoku goes. A couple wide receivers in Judy and Thielen. Quarterbacks available, Geno Smith and Bryce Young still available. I'm going to go in youth and upside and Bryce Young. I know Geno Smith would probably be a good pick there. He's actually still available. We could just get our 4th running back there. And looking through here, take a chance that Xavier Lee is going to fall. Our quarterbacks are Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, and Bryce Young. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a 4th QB in case things happen. And I mean, heck, here you do have a choice. You could go Geno Smith, who's the starter. You could go with Justin Fields, who could possibly take over. That's the thing. Justin Fields provides way too much upside to where I think Justin Fields would actually be a great pick over someone else, or at least just a hold on from a quarterback standpoint. Looking at the buys, Baker Mayfield by 11, Bryce Young by 11. Obviously, we would need or would love it if someone else was on a different buy. Geno Smith, obviously, by 10 would work. Justin Fields, we're hoping he takes over by week 11. They're saying we, of course, reached on him, but we, of course, took who we wanted because we're going to shore up our backup position right here. Looking to see some exciting rookies that I wouldn't mind. Obviously, Xavier Legette is gone. Rashad Bateman, everyone's coaching staff talked about him bouncing back. Troy Franklin could possibly break out. Would love to see some action, some game action on him first. Dontavian Wicks, who a lot of people think is going to take a jump, even though it's a 4-headed monster there. I mean, no running backs really to take. Hey, Tyrone Tracy Jr. Tyrone Tracy, one of the best handcuffs in the league. You don't know if Devin Singletary is going to break down or if he, of course, keeps going. Looking at this team, though, we already have, 4 running backs? No, I think we only have 2, 3. We only have 3. Would be good to just go ahead and get one more just to kind of shore up backfield, even though Dontavian Wicks still there. And like I said, go ahead and grab the running back that you kind of like most. Kamani Vidal could shine. Oh, working with trainer. Oh, Thursday. Okay. Why, man, everyone's hurt in that LA field. But we'll go ahead. Tyrone Tracy, he's just one of the better running back backup cuffs. And then we're, of course, in our defense kicker situation. We'll take whoever falls. These guys are going to drop pretty much every single time. And then we'll see how bad this team turned out. Hey, 78 C+. We'll take that. And this was us guys punting the quarterback position, essentially. We took our wide receiver champion in Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill were still there. Just believe Amon-Ra will be consistent. And lo and behold, we had the choice between getting Dak Prescott kind of as our QB1. Maybe Jared Goff would have fallen as well. Love that we were able to stack that as our quarterback and wide receiver 1. But it was really hard to pass up Bijan Robinson to get those 2 champions on our team. Definitely gonna have to take a chance on the quarterback position, but love that that was a starting core. So, kind of looking through here, guys, filling out this roster. In our quarterback one slot, Jared Goff, RB1, Bijan Robinson. Then we, of course, smash plays Zamir White when he fell to us. Our wide receivers are Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Evans, George Pickens, tight end Mark Andrews with our flex, Keon Coleman. Baker Mayfield as our second QB, we definitely waited. And then, of course, in our bench, Trey Benson, who we believe will take over once James Conner breaks down. Kyle Pitts, the value was just there. He fell and definitely could provide some upside. Josh Palmer, who will be the other starting wide receiver across from Matt McConkey. And then, of course, went Bryce Young for our third quarterback. Took another backup in possibly Justin Fields. Maybe he'll be exciting later on the season. And Tyrone Tracy is the only good running back left. Fantasy Pros. Hey, got two 80s. We've got 84 and 81. Lowest one here, 75, with 78 kind of being right there in the middle. That's not a bad roster, guys. I mean, just really depends if you, of course, I mean, we of course would love a better quarterback, essentially. But this is what you get when you punt that position till the third round. But you at least got your two champions in who you believe in. We're gonna go in here, and I'll go ahead draft one more time. Man, we'll see how this one turns out. Maybe I'll actually go and stick to my guns of going my wide receiver champion and then quarterback. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, and of course it's tough because even then you could get another stout wide receiver. We are going to choose our quarterback champion, Kyler Murray or Jaden Daniels. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray here, just being the more mobile quarterback. Jaden Daniels is going to go in that second round. And so that's the thing. If you want Jaden Daniels, you're either going to have to go quarterback, and take him as your QB2, or make sure he doesn't fall past you in that second round because he isn't going to make it. All right, looking here, we have our quarterback champion in Kyler Murray. We have our wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Gonna look at the quarterback still available. No one we really like. Tua is there. Would have loved Jared Goff. I mean, Tua really is the last tier, which is a shame. Jared Goff actually went just, two picks before us. Running back wise, there's Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, very interesting. Wide receiver wise, Devontae Adams available. Tight end, Travis Kelce, exciting there too. With this one, we did choose our quarterback champion, at least in Kyler Murray. I feel maybe we can start filling out some of these other positions. So we have Amon-Ra St. Brown as our champion. I'm going to go ahead and actually choose Kyron Williams. It was either between him or Isaiah Pacheco, and if Isaiah Pacheco would have fallen back to us, it would have been hard to not pick him as well. But he did go just that one pick before. Looking at these running backs here, this is where the strategy where if we do miss out on a Kyron and Isaiah Pacheco or Kyron Derrick Henry, Kyron someone of that caliber, and we're stuck with Rachaad White here, this is where I'm punting that position until Zamir White is available. Just looking at the wide receivers available here, Drake London is there. A lot of people love him. A lot of people think he's going to explode. I'd much rather like Mike Evans, Nico Collins. Heck, right now Cooper Kupp above him with the injury to Puka. Just thinking who I'm going to take. Well, I could just go highest value and choose Drake London, where everyone thinks he's going to explode. That's the thing. Mike Evans is getting old. Well, if we're going young, let's go Drake. Let's go Drake London. And hey, look, Cooper Kupp is still available. That would be a crazy wide receiver 3. Tight end. Hey, Travis Kelsey's still available. That makes it tough. Cooper Kupp be a great wide receiver 3. Tough to pass on Travis Kelsey here, at least with the pieces we already have in place. Of course, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride going to be great as well. Honestly, could have waited and then chosen Trey McBride to get that stack. But that right there, pretty decent core to me. Running backs available. Hoping Zamir White does fall. Quarterbacks here looking Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Will Levis. It's who you think is going to make the jump. Honestly, I kind of want to take a chance on Will Levis here. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I feel they're going to have to chuck it. Wow, Matthew Stafford, age 36. Wow. Going George Pickens. It's hard to pass up on Pickens for me. And hey, we missed out on Zamir White. Took that chance. Quarterback Will Levis goes after that. The next one up is Baker Mayfield, where if we're taking this shot, I mean, he will be our quarterback too. We'll see who falls to us here. Hoping to get a decent running back. And there's some decent ones that fall into us. James Conner, we're targeting Trey Benson, of course. DeAndre Swift does have question marks. It's either Najee Harris or Jalen Warren. Probably Jalen Warren here. Raheem Mostert, more than likely going to be my pick. Looking at this team, Kyron Williams, Raheem Mostert to anchor that position. We already have 3 great wide receivers. We'll see if Keon Coleman can possibly fall to us later on. Once you see Lad McConkey go, that's when you know you're in that range. And, man, we're in that range. Which stinks because Brian Robinson is there. And if we needed a stout running back 3, he would be the pick. And it's just more consistent. Because the fact that we spent up a little bit on these wide receivers, I mean, George Pickens as a wide receiver 3. You're hoping you can fill out the rest of his team with some good rookie ones. Maybe Jalen Polk. Maybe Xavier Legette. But I need a good flex. And right now, if I need someone who is consistent, it's Brian Robinson Jr. And we lose out on Keon Coleman right before us because that dude knows exactly how I draft. And in that, I'm looking here, and the bummer is, of course, is had we gone Keon Coleman that round, some running backs we still would have been able to choose from. Obviously, we'd have to take Trey Benson and then maybe see if Jerome Ford falls, maybe Ezekiel Elliott. Blake Corum, which, since we have Kyron, it's smart to get Blake Corum. Wide receiver wise, I'm just going to look in here. No one really worth fighting for without Keon Coleman. Kyle Pitts is available. Running back wise, just hard to pass up on who you need. So this is where I'm going to take who I want to take, and I'm going to make sure to shore up Trey Benson. Knowing that Keon Coleman's there, we did spend up on our wide receivers. There goes Blake Corum. There goes Jerome Ford. Miss out on those guys. I was really hoping at least one of them fell. looking at our team and going to start seeing where we can start adding some value. We got some notable injuries in Rashid Shaheed and Josh Downs. I believe it's a high ankle sprain. Yeah, high ankle sprain. That's going to be something to possibly linger. Jalen Polk available there. I'm actually value-wise going to go ahead and just get Derek Carr as, I believe, our third quarterback. That's what we have. Yeah, as our third quarterback, and I'll start coming in here and finding guys with value in the wide receiver position. Jalen Polk available. I'll take him. They're telling me it's a reach. Whatever. Fantasy pros. Brandon Cooks could provide some upside. Xavier Legette is who I'm leading on to. Hey, Ty Chandler is there. He honestly could take a great role. Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, just to kind of shore up that QB position. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Well, actually, by 11, by 11, by 11, by 12. So having 3 guys on by 11 would definitely be bad. The thing that sucks, wow, I'm looking at this, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young's both by 11. That sucks because that's actually going to make me have to reach, if I really wanted to, on another quarterback later on. And in the quarterbacks I'm talking about later on, I'm talking like a Gardner Minshew or a Sam Darnold or a Jacoby Brissett. Guys who are starting, or you obviously just take the chance on Justin Fields and see if he becomes a starter there. But that's the thing, it's Russell Wilson's job until he loses it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get the wide receiver I want. And then, honestly, I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and smash these QBs, whichever ones are available. Which sucks, is man, that's like what, 5 QBs on a roster? I don't necessarily like that. At the same time, you could always go into the season knowing that week 11, you need a new quarterback or someone to fill in that spot. Luckily, with most Superflex, it's not mandatory to have that third quarterback. Second quarterback in that spot. It's smart to have, as the QB will more than likely score the most amount of points during the game. So, man, that stinks. Could take some of these guys where Sam Darnold would probably be the pick just because he's tied to Justin Jefferson. Doesn't really, does have J.J. McCarthy there, but I believe Sam Darnold's going to have, it's his shot to lose, or his job to lose. Coming to the teams, running back, wide receiver, we got our quarterbacks there. Any running backs provide any value? Not really. Alexander Madison, should we have gotten Zamir White? We weren't able to. We ended up taking, I think we went wide receiver that round, and then ended up losing out. Dang, that's the thing that stinks. Do I really want a 5th quarterback? Do I believe in my squad? Oh wow, Justin Fields is gone, and Russell Wilson is still there. That kind of shows you what a lot of people are thinking. not yet clear. He takes the snaps. Sam Darnold. Comes as no surprise. I mean, when you're a co-QB2 with Nick Mullins, I think that kind of tells me all I need to know. Sorry. Reset is starting for time. Yeah, what's the thing? Isn't there another quarterback who's like taking over Drake? Who was that? I forgot his name. Spencer Rattler. Trey Lance. Was it Joe Milton? Joe Milton. That seems like a real name. There it is. Wow. So that's interesting, guys. I know I'm waiting way too long for this last pick. Everyone's telling me to hurry up. Just looking at the value, looking at the quarterback, just a short position will be smart to get one more pick here. Obviously, looking at who's available, Russell Wilson listed as a starter. Gardner Minshew is more than likely the starter, but fighting with Aiden O'Connell. Sam Darnold is a starter, eventually probably taking over with Jacoby Brissett. Right now, the main guy. You know what? I'll go with the captain, Jacoby. Just to have that pick. Coming to my teams. I didn't even look if he had a different buy. Of course he did, thank goodness. Defense. We'll go. Choose our defense. Choose our kicker. And then we're going to see how this draft goes because I plan on doing a best ball draft, figuring out, looking at these drafts and seeing essentially which strategy we should take. This one is the highest, third and final. This is where we took our wide receiver champion and then our quarterback. Of course, we didn't see the way it looked when we took our running back champion and then a quarterback, but obviously this was the much higher rated roster. So running down this, our first pick was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Coming around, Bijan Robinson still there, but we decided to go ahead and take our QB1 in Kyler Murray. After that, we just came. I believe Kyron Williams was the third round pick there, and then of course Drake London, and then Travis Kelce just kind of ended up falling in value. It was just hard to pass on him. So we'll go ahead, follow this team. The highest rated, 83 out of 100. I'll take the Bs. But Kyler Murray, Kyron Williams, Raheem Mostert in our RB2 role. As our starting wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, George Pickens, Travis Kelce as our tight end. In our flex, Brian Robinson Jr., who we feel will be, I feel will be consistent in that offense, getting the touchdowns there. Once again, Baker Mayfield as our QB2. Going from there, we missed out on Keelan Coleman. Really, he went the pick right before us, but ended up going Trey Benson, filling out our bench with Derek Carr, Jalen Polk running with the ones, Xavier Legette, another exciting rookie, and Bryce Young, who can maybe take that step. Obviously, with our last pick, would have loved to take another piece and take a shot at a wide receiver, but looking at our buys, knowing that most of them were on the same week, went ahead and took Jacoby Brissett, someone that we believe can fill in that role should anything happen. Interesting, that's the highest one, though, but 82, highest grade, 78, 75, 71 from there. But really appreciate it, guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'll figure out which strategy we decide to do in the Superflex Best Ball Draft later on in the week. If we're able to get in multiple ones, I'm going to be kind of doing it just like we did here and switching up those draft strategies as well. So really appreciate you guys following along this time. We'll be back with another draft tomorrow and just another day closer to the regular season, guys. Appreciate you following along, and we'll see you again later.